She was afraid of her own shadow. Literally. One afternoon, sunlight shifted through the window. A shadow moved across the floor. The dog screamed. Not barked. Screamed. She ran into the wall, cowered behind the toilet, shook for 3 hours. Her name was Willow, and she was afraid of everything. The vacuum cleaner, the doorbell, the sound of rain, a leaf blowing across the yard, a sneeze, a laugh, silence, everything. The shelter staff had never seen anything like her. She came from a puppy mill where she'd never seen the sun, never felt grass, never heard a kind word. She was 2 years old and had lived her entire life in a wire cage. When they tried to touch her, she urinated. When they tried to walk her, she collapsed. When they tried to love her, she didn't know what love was. The shelter put her on the euthanasia list. They said she was too damaged, too fearful, too far gone. They said no one would want a dog who was afraid of everything. But one volunteer couldn't let go. Her name was Sarah. She'd been at the shelter for 10 years. She'd seen hundreds of dogs come and go. But something about Willow's eyes stopped her. "Give me 2 weeks," she said. The shelter manager laughed. 2 weeks? That dog needs a miracle. Sarah didn't argue. She didn't promise a miracle. She just took Willow home. If you've ever had a dog who was afraid of everything, the kind of dog who hides under the bed, who shakes at every sound, who seems like they'll never trust anyone, this video is for you. Because Willow's story isn't about a dog who is too damaged. It's about what happens when someone refuses to give up, and what it taught us about fear, trust, and the patience of love. Before we continue, hit that like button. For Willow. For every dog who's been labeled too far gone. Subscribe to Canine Lab so you don't miss the rest of her story. Willow's brain was wired differently. Not broken. Wired for survival. In the puppy mill, she'd learned one thing. The world is dangerous. Every sound meant pain. Every hand meant hurt. Every new thing meant fear. Her brain had created a single, powerful pathway. Everything equals danger. Scientists call this generalized fear. It's what happens when a dog experiences trauma so consistently that their brain stops discriminating between real threats and harmless things. Everything becomes a threat. When Willow heard the vacuum, her brain didn't think loud noise. It thought predator. When she saw a hand reaching for her, her brain didn't think, maybe this one is kind. It thought pain incoming. Her body reacted before her mind could catch up. The screaming, the running, the hiding, the shaking. These weren't choices. They were survival responses. The shelter volunteers didn't understand this. They thought Willow needed more exposure, more desensitization, more face your fears. But here's what they didn't know. For a dog like Willow, forced exposure doesn't help. It makes things worse. It confirms what her brain already believes. The world is dangerous. See, I was right to be afraid. Willow didn't need to face her fears. She needed to learn that not everything is a fear. This is a completely different approach. And most people get it wrong. The first week at Sarah's house, Willow didn't move. She stayed in a corner of the bathroom, pressed against the wall, shaking. She didn't eat. She didn't drink. She didn't sleep. Sarah didn't try to touch her. She didn't try to coax her out. She didn't even look at her. She sat on the bathroom floor, a few feet away, and read a book. Out loud, in a soft voice. For hours. Every day, Willow watched her. Her body was still tense. Her eyes never left Sarah's hands. But something was happening. A new sound, a new presence, a new possibility. Week 1, Sarah sat in the bathroom every day. Same spot, same distance, same soft voice reading aloud. She didn't reach for Willow, didn't call her name, didn't demand anything. Willow stayed pressed against the wall. But her ears began to move. Not much, just a flicker towards Sarah's voice. Week 2, Sarah brought a blanket. She placed it on the floor, not near Willow, just nearby. She sat on it, read her book, drank her tea, lived her life. Willow watched. Her body was still tense, but she wasn't pressed against the wall anymore. She had moved an inch, just an inch. Week 3, Sarah brought treats. She didn't offer them. She placed them on the floor, halfway between them, and kept reading. Willow stared at the treats for an hour. Then she moved. Quick, grabbed a treat, ran back to her corner. But she had moved towards Sarah. Her brain had made a calculation. Treat equals good. Sarah equals treats. Sarah equals maybe not danger. Week 4. Willow took a treat from Sarah's open palm. Her teeth barely touched Sarah's fingers. She retreated immediately, but she took it. Week 5. Willow let Sarah touch her. Just a finger. On her back. For 1 second. She flinched, but she didn't run. Sarah didn't push. She waited. Week 6. Willow leaned into Sarah's hand. Not much. Just a slight pressure. But she leaned. Week 7. Willow came out of the bathroom on her own. She walked into the living room. Looked around. Looked at Sarah. Then lay down on the rug. Not hiding. Just resting. Week 8. Willow wagged her tail. For the first time in her life. At Sarah. Because Sarah came home. Her brain had been rewiring. Not erasing the fear. Building something new alongside it. A new pathway. Sarah equals safe. The old pathway was still there. It might always be there. But now there was a choice. Willow's transformation wasn't magic. It was neuroscience. Her brain had spent 2 years strengthening one pathway. Everything equals danger. That pathway was like a superhighway. Wide, fast, easy to travel. Every time she was afraid, that pathway grew stronger. Every time something scared her, she was confirming what her brain already believed. Sarah didn't try to tear down that highway. She couldn't. Instead, she built a new road. A small path. Sarah equals safe. At first, it was just a dirt trail. Hard to find. Easy to miss. But every time Sarah sat quietly, the path grew. Every time she offered a treat without demanding, the path widened. Every time she didn't push, the path became clearer. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to create new pathways. It's how healing happens, not by erasing the past, by building a new future alongside it. Willow still had moments. A loud noise would still make her flinch. A sudden movement would still make her retreat. The old pathway was still there. But now she had a choice. She could take the fear highway, or she could take the safe path. And more, she chose safe. The shelter volunteers couldn't believe it. They came to visit, expecting the same terrified dog. Instead, they found Willow lying on the couch. Not hiding, not shaking, just being. One volunteer asked Sarah, "How did you do it?" Sarah said, "I didn't fix her. I just gave her time and space and a reason to believe that not everything hurts." Today, Willow is different. She's still cautious. She still startles at sudden noises. She still doesn't love strangers. The old pathways are still there. They always will be. But she also runs. She plays. She brings Sarah her shoes in the morning. She sleeps on the bed, pressed against Sarah's legs. She wags her tail when Sarah comes home. The dog who was afraid of everything is now a therapy dog. She visits children's hospitals. She lies beside kids who are scared, who are hurting, who are afraid, because she knows what fear feels like. She knows what it's like to believe that the world is dangerous. And she knows what it's like to find safety. The shelter manager who said she needed a miracle came to visit. He watched Willow gently rest her head on a sick child's lap. He cried. "She's not the same dog," he said. Sarah shook her head. "She's exactly the same dog. She just needed someone to see past the fear." Willow's story isn't just about a dog who learned to trust. It's about what happens when we stop trying to fix fear and start trying to understand it. Fear isn't weakness. It's survival. It's the brain trying to protect itself the only way it knows how. The question isn't, how do I make them stop being afraid? The question is, how do I help them feel safe enough to try something else? If you have a fearful dog, here's what Willow taught us. Don't push. Don't force. Don't flood them with what scares them. Sit still. Be patient. Let them watch you. Let them learn that you are safe. Build a new path slowly. One small moment at a time. One gentle presence at a time. One reason to believe at a time. And one day, maybe when you least expect it, they'll choose you. They'll lean into your hand. They'll wag their tail. They'll rest. Not because you fixed them, because you gave them space to heal themselves. Willow still has scars. They'll always be there. But they're not the only things her brain remembers anymore. It also remembers the woman who, as say,